Because look, when it comes to nerves, there are things you can control and there are things that you can't. You can't control anything out there. Everything out there, you don't have control over. But what you do have control over is the choices that you make. So number one is breathing. Now, again, there's no magic bullet for nerves. It's about managing that energy in the moment, managing it better. Managing that energy and making a conscious choice of where you're going to put your breath. Okay, so again, this isn't about perfection. This isn't about perfection. It's about being present. And it's about making different choices. Now you have choices. Okay. All right. So we're building up this toolbox now. Breath. Very important tool when it comes to managing your nerves. Okay, number two. This is a big one. Practice and preparation. How many of you guys have a plan? Have a very clear plan that you use when you're preparing for giving a presentation or giving a master class or creating a video for social media? How many of you have a plan of action before you give a presentation or before you go into a high stakes meeting? Gabby, what's your plan?
Yeah. I suppose I want to know what the outcome that I'm looking for, what I am actually looking for the people who are going to watch it, for the people who I am doing the meeting for or the masterclass for. What are they going to get out of it? And also, how can I benefit them? So I have a clear vision of what I want to achieve for them to get out of it, or what I want them to feel, think after the meeting or after the presentation.
Okay.
So more of a strategy of why am I doing this and what are the outcomes going to be for me and for the person who is watching it afterwards. Okay.
So you're thinking, who is my audience and what do I want them to take away?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a plan. And what about planning for your physical and vocal preparation?
I suppose I would never go to a meeting, or, well, you know, some meetings you do go quite unprepared because you don't really know 100% what's going to happen in the meeting. But if I'm just talking about, let's say, master classes or even coaching sessions that I might be doing with my clients, when it comes to master classes, I videotape myself to see how I look, what gestures I do, if I do any annoying noises that, you know, because people do that and they don't necessarily catch themselves until they watch themselves, if you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I do this thing all the time. So I'm trying to like work on it. Yeah. But when it comes to, let's say, even like my coaching sessions, I am kind of preparing myself in my head what the person might say and what might be my response. Kind of thinking ahead what could be happening in that session. So I'm quite prepared when it comes to it. And yes, sometimes there are totally things that I have never expected to happen. But, you know, there might be situations that I'm like, oh yeah, okay, I already thought about the sequence of these questions, or I already thought about that this might be happening.
Okay, all right. So the key, this second one, the practice and preparation, the key is clarity, really. And it's building up that toolbox of vocal and physical techniques that you can have. So when we're talking vocal techniques, we're talking about using pause, the pace at which you speak. Because Tracy and I were talking beforehand, and when nerves hit you, sometimes we're off, and that's it. Boom, you are flying, and you just want to get through it as fast as you can before you forget what you're going to say, and we don't want to forget what you're going to say, so you got to go as fast as you can, but you'll get it all up before you're going to forget what you're going to say. and there's no breathing. It's exhausting. And it's exhausting for you, it's exhausting for us. So it's using your vocal techniques, building up that toolbox, which is using pause, the pace at which you speak, varying the parts of your voice that you use so you're not monotone and flat. It is using volume, varying your volume, varying all of those things. And of course, then you've got your hands, how you are physically, eye contact. And if you're on Zoom, eye contact with the camera, because that's eye contact with everybody. How open is your face? Is your face alive, or is it dead and with nothing there? Nobody's home. No energy. That happens a lot. How many times have you guys sat through a presentation and you would have thought that they had like Botox their entire face? There's just nothing going on there. Dead. That's scary. And it's also, it's just incredibly, it's a huge turnoff. Audiences will stop listening. Because I'll tell you guys, your audience is always looking for a reason not to listen to you. And it's not a good or a bad thing, and it's not personal. That's just what we do. And with virtual platforms, it's even easier for people to shut off. So when it comes to managing those nerves, you want to be on when you get into that meeting. You don't want to have 2 or 3 minutes to warm up while you're in that meeting in order to get where you want to go. You got to be on the minute you get into that meeting. So get those physical techniques, get those vocal techniques, start building those up for yourself so you have choices. Okay, also a plan of action. I use APT, APT. So get awareness. What am I doing? Gabby said she films herself and she watches it back. Awareness. What am I doing? Is that serving my message? If the answer is yes, great, keep doing it. If the answer is no, well, then now I need to have more choices. I need to make other choices because what I'm doing isn't working.